And it is Aliyah Boston talking about her favorite teammates in the WNBA. And if we're being real, I would assume the teammate who gets 3 to 4 assists per game to her is probably your favorite teammate. The teammate that, keeps giving her the ball wide open 4 feet from the basket for her to shoot those pop shots.
Aliyah Boston just dropped a bombshell about her favorite WNBA teammates, and the internet is losing it. South Carolina fans, brace yourselves. She named Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. No hesitation, no beating around the bush, straight up honesty, no political answers or I love everyone equally nonsense. And naturally, chaos followed online. All those trying to stir drama between Boston and Clark, their storyline just got obliterated. So what do you think? Should players openly name their favorites? Or is Boston subtly throwing shade at her college teammates? Comment your thoughts. During a recent interview, Boston was asked who she enjoys playing with the most in the league. Her response was instant, crystal clear, and perfectly timed to send certain fan bases into meltdown mode. Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. No pauses, no filters, just pure, unapologetic honesty.
Can you guess who they are?
No.
Caitlin and Kelsey. I love those girls right there.
I knew that. I feel
like you could have guessed that.
I knew that, but I knew that.
I feel like you could have.
I don't know why I was thinking college too.
Oh, I was just thinking.
Okay, you're right.
But
you're a big girl now.
Caitlin, yeah, I am. I'm grown. I'm grown up. Caitlin and Kelsey, those are my girls. Like, I love those two so freaking much, and I love playing with them. It's crazy. So those are my.
Here's how the interview went down. The host asked, "Can you guess who they are?" Boston didn't skip a beat. Caitlin and Kelsey. I love those girls right there. The host chuckled. I knew it. Boston went on. You could have guessed that. I don't even know why it's a surprise. But yeah, I'm grown now. Caitlin and Kelsey, they're my girls. I love those two so much, and playing with them is just unreal. Honestly, those are my top picks. Now, let's break down why this makes total sense. Caitlin Clark sets Boston up for 3 or 4 assists every single game, constantly spotting her wide open near the basket for easy buckets. For any center getting the ball in perfect scoring positions again and again, it doesn't take long for that teammate to become your favorite. This isn't drama, it's just smart basketball.
When it comes to Aliyah Boston, it's like people have tried to put Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark, pit them against each other. But at the end of the day, I think when people were doing that in like a basketball,
what makes Boston's answer stand out is how real it feels. She's not reciting a media-trained script or trying to avoid offending anyone. She's just being honest about who she enjoys playing with and why. That kind of authenticity is rare in an era where most athletes stick to safe, scripted answers designed to dodge any hint of controversy. To be fair, Boston could have easily mentioned Erica Wheeler from her rookie season. Wheeler dished the ball to her constantly that year, making sure Boston got her touches and scoring chances. That would have made total sense. But instead, Boston highlighted Clark and Mitchell, her current teammates, the ones she's building chemistry with right now. The interviewer even hinted at college teammates, which adds an interesting layer. Boston's favorite in college was probably Bray Beal, who also joined her in the WNBA, but Boston made it clear, I'm grown up. That's her way of signaling that her college days are behind her. She's focused on her professional teammates now. She's moved on from South Carolina, exactly what any pro athlete should do, and this is where South Carolina fans freak out. They want Boston to still represent the program, to keep those college bonds at the center of her world, but Boston has leveled up. She's a professional with professional priorities, and her current teammates, the ones who matter for her success today, come first.
Take Caitlin Clark's drink.
You just never, that's just who I am. I'm like, okay, you know what? You're going to be on camera. Let me just slide this out the view so we don't have to worry about it. No one has to see it. And obviously, the way I'm looking in the camera, I thought that, no one could see me. I was like, oh, no one can even see what's happening here, but I was wrong.
You look really guilty in this video. Caitlin looks like she's having a great time.
And I'm just like, excuse me, I'm just going to take this from you.
Just in her element. And Aliyah looks like the kid in class that raised their hand and told the teacher that they didn't collect the homework. That's what you look like. That's what you look like in that picture.
I did just have to take it. And I was like holding it until she was done. I was like, it's okay. I'll just hold.
Anyone trying to stir drama between Boston and Clark just got their storyline completely crushed. For months, rumors have circulated that Boston and Clark don't click, that their styles clash and there's tension on the court. But Boston shattered that myth in an instant by naming Clark as one of her top 2 favorite teammates in the entire league.
Did you get the #1 pick?
Yes.
And that obviously becomes Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
What are like she joins the team. What are some of your early impressions of her?
I thought she was super nice. I think it's always weird when you're like used to competing against someone.
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot we were like doing something. We had something. I was like, Caitlin, I just want to say, I'm like really upset that you like did what you did in that Final Four game. I was like, I feel like I just need to get it off my chest because like we are teammates, but I'm like, you didn't have to do all that. Like you did not have to go for 40 on our dome. Like, girl, we could have just had fun.
Yeah,
but after that, it was like cool because obviously now we're on the same team, so you don't worry about that. But I always thought it was funny because I'm like, we just went from competing against each other, you beating us, and now we're on the same team. Yeah. It's like, I was like, girl, it's okay. I get it. I'm not mad at you for real, but I am.
Now let's get into the basketball side of things. This is where it gets really interesting. When Clark joined Indiana, Boston completely reinvented her game to fit Clark's style. She went from a bruising back to the basket center into an elite face-up player. She got quicker, sharper laterally, and upgraded her perimeter defense to the point where she can guard guards. Her pick and roll and pick and pop skills improved, and she became a far more reliable shooter. This wasn't accidental. It was intentional and necessary. Had Indiana landed the 2nd pick instead of the 1st, they likely would have selected Camila Carter-Doso. Boston would have remained a traditional bruising center, running high-low sets with Carter-Doso under Coach Christie Sides, and the Fever probably never make the playoffs. Not a knock on Boston or Carter-Doso, that's just the reality. Boston adjusted her entire game to make her partnership with Clark work, and honestly, it's unclear if Clark could have done the same in reverse. Could she have thrived in a slower post-heavy system? Clark excels in up-tempo systems where she controls the pace and creates freely. Boston made the adjustment and made it work. The Fever not only reached the playoffs, they became one of the league's most exciting teams. Clark and Boston developed genuine chemistry, both on and off the court. So it makes perfect sense that Boston now names Clark as one of her favorite teammates ever. Unsurprisingly, the comment sections under videos of this interview are wild. South Carolina fans are upset, Clark's critics are fuming, and anyone pushing the Boston doesn't like Clark narrative is scrambling. But the simplest explanation is also the correct one. Boston genuinely enjoys playing with Clark. Their games complement each other, and they've built a real friendship. One fan asked about Bray Turner and whether Boston would keep or trade her. Her response was diplomatic but realistic. If Turner joins on a minimum contract, you take her. She's a solid 10th to 12th player who can contribute when needed, but she's not in the same tier as Clark and Mitchell when it comes to Boston's favorite teammates or most impactful partnerships. And yes, another commenter did say, please sign the CBA, and here's the elephant in the room. The WNBA and the Players Union still haven't finalized a new collective bargaining agreement. The schedule is out, games are planned, but technically nothing is guaranteed. The reality, the season will happen because too many players simply can't afford for it not to. Some players made under $100,000 last year when you combine WNBA and overseas salaries. This year, if the season goes ahead, those same players could walk into contracts worth $500,000. A few years of their previous earnings in a single season. They're not striking, they're not holding out. They need that money. The union can talk about solidarity and standing together all at once, but off the record, the majority of players, probably 80 to 90, would oppose a strike. That makes the union's threats feel largely empty. Smart negotiating would mean pushing for a shorter CBA with opt-out clauses tied to revenue growth. For example, keeping the current $1.3 million max salary, but including a 3-year opt-out when the TV deal can be renegotiated. If the league's revenue explodes like expected, players can renegotiate from a position of strength. But let's return to Boston and Clark. Their partnership might be the most important in the WNBA right now. Not just for the Fever, but for the league. Clark is the biggest draw in women's basketball, and and Boston is one of the most talented young bigs in the game. Together, they form a core that could dominate for years. And the best part, they genuinely like each other. Boston openly names Clark as one of her favorite teammates, and their chemistry goes beyond the court. You can't fake that. Genuine respect and friendship either exist between teammates or they don't. And here, it clearly does. The haters pushing the narrative of tension between them, totally embarrassed. All those rumors about fit issues or Boston being unhappy with Clark's arrival were destroyed by a simple, honest statement. This is also a reminder of how sports narratives often get detached from reality. Fans and media spin stories based on assumptions and biases, but the players themselves are usually seeing the situation very differently. Boston doesn't care about manufactured drama. She cares about winning and playing alongside teammates she enjoys, Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell. The growth Boston has shown is remarkable. From being the centerpiece of a South Carolina college dynasty to becoming a complimentary star in the WNBA, she has completely reinvented her game. She embraced a new role, adapted her skills, and built new relationships. She's thriving in ways that would have been impossible if she'd stubbornly played the same way she did in college. That's what great players do. They evolve, adapt, and put team success over personal stats or ego. Boston could have demanded the offense run through her post like at South Carolina, but she recognized that wasn't the best path to winning, so she transformed her entire game, and the results speak for themselves. The Fever made the playoffs. Boston's stock is higher than ever. She's playing alongside one of the biggest stars in basketball, and she's genuinely happy about it. That honesty drives the haters insane. South Carolina fans upset by this need to understand. College is a chapter in a professional athlete's life. Loyalty now lies with the current team and teammates. It doesn't erase what she accomplished at South Carolina. It just shows she's grown and focused on her professional career. Aliyah Boston said Caitlin Clark and Kelsey Mitchell are her favorite teammates. The haters are furious. The tension narrative, dead.